In April 2020, a hunter discovered skeletal remains in a valley in the Sawtooth area of northwest Idaho. The remains belonged to Todd Holland, who had been missing for nearly 10 years. Nearby, they found his belongings: a backpack, binoculars, a sleeping bag, and a badly corroded camera. The police managed to recover photos from the camera's memory card, and one of these photos was so chilling that it shocked everyone who saw it. On September 25th, 2010, Todd, who was 39 at the time, decided to go hunting in the Sawtooth region. He brought along his friend Jeff to search for black-tailed deer, was an experienced outdoorsman, and prepared carefully for the trip. He packed overnight camping gear, a .357 Magnum revolver for protection, and his beloved black Labrador retriever, Ruby. Their destination was a mountain called Seven Devils, named for its steep and rugged terrain. September was prime season for black-tailed deer to gather and breed in the area. The plan was to complete their journey in 4 days, with the hope of enjoying the breathtaking views of Hell's Canyon along the way. However, things didn't go as planned. On the third day, Todd began experiencing severe knee pain. To avoid delaying the hunt, Jeff suggested they rest at a place called McPhail Ridge, with the idea that Jeff would reach the destination and return later to meet Todd. Jeff even contacted his father, Steve, to join him for the trek to Seven Devils. When Jeff and his father returned to the meeting point on September 28th, Todd was gone. They searched the area but found no trace of him. Concerned for Todd's safety, Jeff reported his disappearance to the police. Authorities launched a massive search operation across the Sawtooth region, employing helicopters and search dogs, but they found nothing. The sheriff called Jeff in for questioning and administered a polygraph test. Jeff's answers raised suspicions. He was inconsistent and failed the polygraph. Despite this, both Jeff and his father denied any involvement in Todd's disappearance or death. Todd's father, Steve, stormed into the police station, furious, demanding to know why his son was being interrogated, insisting Jeff wasn't a murderer. Meanwhile, the sheriff interviewed Todd's wife, Julie, for further insight. Julie painted a troubling picture of Jeff's behavior, describing him as unreliable and aggressive, someone who often teased Todd. She mentioned that Jeff had a history of breaking promises and even abusing his pet dog, as well as making inappropriate jokes toward her. However, the police felt these details only highlighted Jeff's poor character and did not provide direct evidence to solve the case. Just as the investigation was hitting a dead end, the sheriff's office received a mysterious phone call. A couple hiking in the mountains had found Todd's dog, Ruby. They recognized her from a missing dog poster and brought her back. Todd's family confirmed it was indeed Ruby. Aside from mild dehydration, Ruby was in good health, but something was strange. Her collar and dog pack were missing. Finding Ruby gave the police renewed hope that Todd might still be trapped somewhere in the valley. The search team took Ruby back to the area, hoping she would lead them to Todd. However, Ruby's behavior was unsettling. She trembled, barked, and whimpered in a way that suggested she was terrified, as if she sensed something evil in the mountains. On October 6th, the authorities launched another large-scale search around the area where Ruby was found. They covered almost all the nearby regions where Todd might have gone missing. Julie even brought in a clairvoyant named Lynn May from California to help. Lynn claimed that Todd had been killed by a tall man and buried at the base of a mountain near Seven Devils. Holding on to hope, the authorities sent out 7 teams with search dogs to the location Lynn described. But once again, they found nothing. The search officially ended on October 21st, and the authorities concluded there was no way to locate Todd, closing the case. In April 2020, a hunter near the mouth of the Bernard River made a chilling discovery: a set of human bones. DNA testing later confirmed that the remains belonged to Todd Holland, who had been missing for 10 years. His backpack and camera were found nearby, but his revolver was nowhere to be seen. Due to the extended exposure of Todd's remains to the elements, there was not much usable evidence left. As a result, authorities ruled Todd's death as an accidental disappearance. To this day, his case remains an unsolved mystery. The case has sparked ongoing discussions, with key points raising questions among online communities. First, how did Todd's dog survive unharmed in the wilderness? Without food, a dog raised by humans would struggle to survive in the wild. Who removed the dog's collar and Todd's backpack, and why? Second, why wasn't Todd's gun found near his remains? As an experienced mountaineer, Todd knew his revolver was as vital as his supplies, especially in an area inhabited by cougars, wolves, and other predators. Third, why did Todd leave the agreed meeting point? He had sufficient food, water, and a sleeping bag. Camping in place and waiting for Jeff to return would have been the logical choice. Lastly, Todd's remains were found near the mouth of the Bernard River, dozens of miles away from the meeting point, with an injured knee. How could he have traveled so far? Several plausible theories about Todd's death are circulating online. One theory suggests an accidental shooting cover-up, positing that Todd was accidentally shot by Jeff or his father. They might have transported Todd's body miles away to stage a fake scene. The area where Todd's remains were found is dense with vegetation, making it hard for helicopters to spot the body. Todd may have removed the dog's collar and backpack to make Ruby more comfortable in the wild. The dog, frightened after witnessing Todd's death, could have run off. The missing revolver might have been lost during the transportation of the body or deliberately hidden. Another theory suggests animal threats. It is possible that Todd left the campsite after spotting signs of nearby predators. He may have been left seeking a safer location when he was injured or killed.
One online user pointed out that Devil's Mountain is covered in unstable rock formations prone to landslides. Todd might have been struck by falling rocks, leading to his death. His dog may have survived by eating food from Todd's backpack. A more mysterious theory involves Todd being stalked and killed by a cryptid-like creature. This speculation is tied to a haunting photo recovered from Todd's damaged camera. While most of the pictures were of scenic landscapes, one photo stood out. It captured an eerie moment when Todd seemed to be under the gaze of something sinister. The image was blurry and hastily taken, suggesting Todd was in a panic. These theories continue to fuel debates about the tragic and mysterious death of Todd Holland. This photo was the last one on Todd's camera. Perhaps he was attacked immediately after taking it. The area where Todd's remains were found was lush with vegetation and near a water source, conditions that could support the presence of large creatures. Todd was nearly 6 feet tall, and moving his body such a distance would require immense strength. The creature in the photo resembles reports of a large, hairy humanoid creature known as the Grassman. Sightings of this being have been reported across several U.S. states. Named for its shaggy, grass-like fur, witnesses describe it as standing 7 to 8 feet tall and weighing around 500 pounds. It is speculated to be a giant subspecies of Bigfoot. Grassmen are said to be nocturnal, with glowing eyes and loud roaring calls. Some claim they emit a foul odor and attack dogs or people traveling alone at night. According to Lynn May's account, Todd was killed by a tall figure. Perhaps this tall figure was indeed a Grassman. If we place ourselves in Todd's situation, the fear must have been paralyzing. In moments of extreme terror, it's hard to react logically. The fact that Todd managed to take a photo was an act of great courage. He might have forgotten about his gun, or had no time to use it before the attack. Of course, this is just one interpretation. The creature in the photo could also be a standing bear. The mystery of Todd Holland's death might never be solved. After the incident, many blamed Jeff for leaving Todd alone in the wilderness. Experts noted that being injured and alone in the wild is practically a death sentence. Todd's wife described him as a kind and generous man, someone who rarely said no to a friend in need. Despite Jeff's history of mocking Todd, he still agreed to help his friend climb Devil's Mountain and search for black-tailed deer. For Todd, Devil's Mountain truly lived up to its name. One can't help but wonder if Jeff will carry the guilt of abandoning Todd for the rest of his life. But the strangest thing about this story is not even the photo itself, but how quickly contradictions began to appear around it. It would seem that the remains found in the latest camera images should have shed light on the mystery. But instead, there are only new questions. Immediately after the footage of the alleged Bigfoot fell into the hands of the police, a copy of it somehow ended up on the internet. Who leaked it? The investigators claimed that there was only one such photo, but independent researchers claim that there were several more frames on the memory card that were never published. The question is why? This is where the conspiracy theory layer begins. Some believe that law enforcement agencies deliberately conceal evidence of Bigfoot's existence in order not to cause panic. Others claim that much more serious forces are involved in the case. Idaho is a region with a rich military history. There are training bases, old mines, and even closed areas where ordinary people are strictly prohibited from entering. Some cryptid researchers believe that encounters with creatures from the forest are not an accident, but a side effect of experiments that are conducted in isolated areas. Maybe what Todd captured in the lens is not a mythical creature at all, but the result of secret developments. It is curious that such stories are repeated over and over again. In 1967, the famous Patterson and Gimlin video was shot. where a Bigfoot was recorded in California. Immediately after the film's release, many witnesses began reporting pressure from the authorities. Someone was persuaded to recant. Someone was hinted at career problems if he continued to speak. And this is despite the fact that no proof of forgery has ever been found. The same is true in the Todd Holland case.